Hey everyone, it's Jenny White, and it is week 3 of the new Creator Diaries of my Pill of Possibility YouTube channel. Today I'm going to go over a couple things that have been going well, some things that have been challenging, and then a couple things that I've been trying out to see how continuing on my journey with the YouTube channel is going. So if you would like to kind of see from early stages of creating a YouTube channel what some of the challenges are that you might face, this is going to be a great video for you. So to start with, let's talk about some of the things that are going well. So I've overcome my fear of getting in front of a camera, and so that's kind of a big deal if you want to start a YouTube channel. Still kind of awkward. It's still weird talking to a camera. Like I've said before, I actually do a lot of public speaking, but for some reason, talking in front of a camera is very different and a little bit more awkward. So I'm just trying to get in front of the camera as much as I can. I've been trying to do at least one video a week, which I have stuck to that, where I've been posting one video. But originally my goal had been to do one video of like the creator content diaries, and then one video that was actually related to the things that I want to talk about within the channel, such as like pharmacy, real estate, mindset, and those kinds of things. Now, I haven't quite gotten to that because I did realize that editing is taking me a little bit longer than I expected. So I will kind of talk about that in some of the challenges. But overall, I've been getting in front of the camera and just posting one video a week. And so one of the things that I think worked out really well was that I decided that Tuesdays were going to be my publish days. And so I have been sticking with that, where I get my editing done and then I schedule my video to release on Tuesday mornings at 8 a.m. Now, if I get another video, that's great. But at minimum, I'm sticking to my once a week posting, which is what my goal was. And it's going to continue to be my goal. And I'm just, again, trying to get in front of the camera as often as I can, because it only gets easier the more times that you try it. Couple other things that I think worked out well this week was I was practicing a little bit more with my thumbnails. So I was using Canva to create my thumbnails. I've been looking to see what other people are doing, and then Canva actually had like the free upgraded version, which I did find that I like it so far, if for the only reason being that it has like a part where you can actually edit out like the background of whatever picture you're using. And so it makes it look like a nicer thumbnail. And so you'll maybe notice from my previous thumbnail to hopefully they're progressing and looking a little bit better. So something I'm still practicing, but I really found that this week I was making some touches to the thumbnails, and hopefully you're thinking that they look better, but I imagine that they're still going to continue to change color scheme, pictures, whatever it is. I think that they'll just continue to improve. Another thing that I've been able to do that I think worked out well was I was having some challenges with editing because of having some trouble with like when I was pausing the videos when I was talking. And so I've actually was listening to some people, and they kind of recommended like, doing something like 3 claps or kind of making a funny face or whatever whenever you stop your recording. I just actually found for me that it works out really well that if I just take longer pauses, so like when I start the video, I'll start it, get myself situated, be looking at myself in the camera, and then I can kind of smile and then get started. And then the same with the ending is that whenever I felt like I was messing up, that I would just stop it really quick. And then I realized though, when I was going into edit, it made it harder for like the transition when I was like cutting out space. And so now I've just been pausing a little bit longer after I stop talking before I actually hit the stop button. And so then there is a little bit more space for me to crop, and then it makes it in for an easier transition. So those are a couple of the things that I've learned this week that went well. And so next we're going to be talking about some of the challenges. All right, so biggest challenge that I've had this week, and it kind of goes again into talking about that just talking in front of a camera is a little bit more tricky, I guess, or again, it just needs more practice, is I was realizing that I am having a hard time on figuring out where to look at the camera. And so I tried filming off of like my laptop, and then I've been using my DJI, and I have a hard time figuring out if I'm supposed to look at the lens, if I'm supposed to look at myself when I do the recording. And then I was also trying to do it where I had some of my content like transcribed and was thinking that that was easier to follow. But then I was doing this weird thing where I'm like looking off camera, kind of trying to like look back, trying to not look too far up, not look too far down. And it's just been a little bit odd. So I'm still getting used to that. So if you see me kind of looking other places, it's because I'm still trying to get kind of like the flow of talking in the camera. Again, I'm probably going to be watching some videos this week just because I've noticed that some of it is a little odd when I'm recording. And then I noticed that I make a lot of facial gestures when I talk, and maybe I am this animated when I'm talking in person. I'm not sure, but I feel like I'm a little bit more animated. But again, that could be just because I'm looking at myself. So definitely, again, kind of like a learning experience, looking at yourself, how you present. When I'm talking in a classroom, I like make eye contact with people. I walk around the classroom. It's not like this set thing where I'm just looking at myself. And then typically when I listen back to recordings of myself, like I hear the sound, but I don't really look to see, again, what do I look like? So this has been a unique experience. So I would definitely say that that's probably the biggest challenge that I've had this week. And now within this video too, I kind of want to talk about maybe challenges, but also things that I'm trying. So the other thing that I noticed within challenges / I'm trying is I was trying to script out my things that I was going to say for the day really tightly. And so I was trying to use like ChatGPT to kind of help me say everything that I wanted to say. And I was trying to put it in like a big enough font so that I could read it. But I was realizing that like I don't do well with that. And I should have known better, because even when I do my presentations for like CEs or for lectures, I don't do a good job if I try to be too scripted. Most of the time I do better when I'm just talking naturally to someone and trying to just get across the information. And I found that I think I do a little bit better with that than just trying to read from a script or memorize a bunch of lines. So this week I kind of changed it where I still script out my ideas, but instead of doing it where it's like strictly the transcript and I'm trying to say like word for word what I'm trying to say, I kind of get my bullet point ideas and then maybe 1 or 2 small bullet points under that, like make sure that you cover this or talk about this. And I found that that actually helps me really well, because then I can just kind of talk about a bullet point, then I'll, pause the video, and then that's kind of like my one part, and then I can go into the next part and then the next part. And so kind of gave me a good framework for recording videos, pausing, stopping, gaining, or kind of thinking about what I'm going to say for the next spot. And so for me, that worked out really well. Maybe for you, doing the transcript is better, because again, I've heard a lot of YouTubers who talk about that, or they have kind of like a teleprompter behind them. But for me, that wasn't working. Maybe it's something that I just don't have, the right tools or the right setup figured out right now. But as of right now, I found that, again, I do better if I'm just have my ideas planned out, but that again, I kind of just talk off the cuff. Again, the best thing about all of this is what I originally said in my first video, is that I haven't told anybody about my YouTube channel. So besides like my husband who watches to support me and maybe like one other person, no one's seeing these videos, but that means that I get to test out a bunch of different things to find out what works for me and what doesn't, without having to worry about what people think about me, because at this point, no one's watching these videos. And by the time that you do watch this video, hopefully I will be a little bit better, and so then that will keep you continuing to watch my material. A couple other things that I've been trying is, you may have noticed that I've had different backgrounds within my YouTube channel. So obviously people have different places where they record, but that was one thing that I always felt like, okay, you have to plan, you have to make it nice, have the pretty picture or the plant in the background. I've kind of been playing around. So this is in our office at our house. And so it was kind of an easy setup, kind of blank wall, easy to set up my DJI to record from here. Some of my other videos have been from my work office after hours, of course. But then you can see that like I have some of the things that I like to do, like my Legos in the background or a lot of books. And so I've been trying to play around with scenery just to see what I like, and also just kind of getting practice with framing my shot. Some of my earlier videos when I was practicing, I had my DJI set on like vertical as opposed to horizontal, and my husband kindly pointed out that that was a lot of headspace and not really needed. And so I've shifted to the horizontal and been practicing that way now. As I kind of mentioned already, another thing that I was trying was just completely scripting out my videos versus going a little bit more, just kind of going with my flow and talking about things that matter, but trying to hit like key points. I felt that has worked better. Another thing that was different this week is I was trying to record on my on my laptop just to see if I felt like that ended up working out a little bit better. For me, it didn't. I still find like the DJI works well. I probably am going to try some videos soon with my phone just to kind of see how that works. Again, just trying out new things. No one's watching the videos right now, so I get to kind of have free reign and try things out and figure out what works for me. But again, the most important thing is that every week I'm getting out and I'm practicing. I actually have a couple more videos that I've recorded, and so that kind of ties into the last thing that I want to talk about. I forgot to mention it in the challenges part, but honestly, the editing, it's been a great learning experience. It's taking me a little bit to kind of get used to it. And honestly, doing all of the work for a YouTube video is surprisingly quite a bit of work, from, again, trying to learn how to do your thumbnail, coming out with a good title, and then also trying to figure out your script, your video, how it looks, how it flows, and then doing the editing. So it's taking me a little bit longer than I thought, which is why, again, I'm kind of only at the 1 video per week, even though I was trying to shoot for 2. But again, ultimately, my goal is 1 video per week for at least 90 days. I'm actually shooting for an entire year, so I think this is video 3 or 4. And so hopefully more are going to be coming. Hopefully I'll get a little bit faster with editing. And then again, kind of just get this thing under a schedule and kind of get some rhythm to this. And I think it's going to be good. But so far I've been enjoying it. Couple hiccups here and there, but nothing that can't be overcome. And so I hope you guys are liking these videos and you really get to see from start to hopefully getting much better on what it's like to start a YouTube video. So hopefully you'll see me on the next one, but until then, have a great day.